Hello everyone, this is Sujit sir and I welcome all of you to my class once again. In today's class, we shall discuss the third chapter of your Beehive book. It's a story about a little girl named Kezia who is always very afraid of her father. She finds her father to be very strict. She even cherishes some negative views about him. But with the passage of time, she realizes that her opinion about her father was wrong and that her father has enough love and affection for her. Now, the story being a long one, it has been divided into two parts. In today's class, we shall cover the first part of it only. Let us therefore move ahead and read the story and find out how the change in her views is brought about. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Now students, the little girl whom we shall come to know later in the story as Kezia was always afraid of her father. She never thought of going near him. Her father was a symbol of great fear to her. Look at this picture. Therefore, the little girl Kezia always thought of staying away from her father. Every morning, before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." Now, every morning, before going to work, her father used to go to her room and give her a casual kiss. And in reply to it, she only said, "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. Now, when Kezia found that her father had gone out for office, she felt relaxed. A glad sense of relief means feeling relaxed. Now, when did she feel relaxed? When she heard the noise of the carriage in which her father used to go became lesser and lesser, or when she was convinced that her father had gone farther from the house, she had a sense of relief. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Now, when her father came back from office in the evening, the girl Kezia used to stand near the staircase. Now, staircase is a flight of stairs, and she could hear the loud voice of her father. He used to order, "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet?" So every evening when her father returned home from office, the little girl Kezia used to stand near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. The father used to order, "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper is out there and bring me my slippers." So every evening when Kezia's father returned from office, he used to give orders like this. And Kezia got scared observing his attitude and way of speaking. Kezia, mother would call her, "If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." Now, at this point of time, Kezia's mother used to call Kezia and said, "If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." Therefore, Kezia's mother wanted Kezia to take off her father's boots immediately, like a good girl. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly, still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Now, slip down means to come down quietly and unwillingly. Now when Kezia's mother asked her to take off her father's boots, the little girl Kezia would come down quietly but unwillingly and pushed open the door of the drawing room and came in. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Now when Kezia came to the drawing room, her father used to look at her over his glasses in such a way which was terrifying or horrifying to the little girl. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? Now Kezia's father told Kezia to hurry up and pull off his boots and take them outside. He also wanted to know if Kezia had behaved properly the whole day. Now the girl was so nervous she could not answer back properly. She used to stammer. She would say, "I don't know, father." So the little girl Kezia always stammered while replying to her father. "You don't know? If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor." Now her father thought that she must have some problem in speaking because he found that the little girl was stammering or was speaking indistinctly. He thought the girl should see a doctor. He said the girl must be taken to doctor and her mother would take her to the doctor. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Now trying so hard means putting a lot of effort. Now Kezia never spoke indistinctly to other people. Kezia never stammered while speaking to other people. She did so whenever she talked to her father. Why was it so? It was only because of her nervousness. It was only because she was afraid of her father. She always tried to talk to her father in a proper way, but the terror and the nervousness made her talk in that indistinct way. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Now the father wanted to know what was wrong with Kezia, why she looked so wretched. Now wretched means unhappy or sad. In reality, the father did not know that her fear for him made her look so. Kezia's father said to his mother, that is Kezia's grandmother, "Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide." Now brink of suicide means about to commit suicide. The father thought that the little girl was always like this. She was sad, she was unhappy, because as long as Kezia's father observed Kezia, he always found her to be like that. He wanted his mother to teach the little girl how to behave, how to make herself presentable, and at the same time, the father doubted that the little girl's unhappiness would bring her life to the end. Finally, Kezia's father ordered Kezia to take his teacup back to the table carefully. He was so big, his hands, his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. Now her father was very tall and strongly built. She found his hands and his neck to be very long. And when her father kept his mouth wide open, his appearance frightened her. When the little girl thought of her father all alone, he appeared to be like a giant or a monster. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of his best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. Now every Sunday in the afternoon, Kezia's grandmother advised her to go to the drawing room to join her parents and to have a nice talk with them. But whenever the little girl, following her grandmother's advice, went to talk to her parents, she found her mother busy with reading something and her father taking rest on the sofa, stretching himself and keeping his handkerchief on his face. The father also used to keep his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. So the little girl Kezia felt herself to be neglected. She thought as if her parents had no time for her. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. So when the girl found her father taking rest and mother reading something, she used to sit on a stool and wait for her father to wake up. Now when her father woke up, first he asked for the time and then he noticed the little girl Kezia. Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl. Now the father might not have found her appearance to be presentable, and therefore he compared her appearance with a little brown owl. He thought the little girl was looking like a little brown owl. One day when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that her father's birthday was next week, and she suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Now Kezia's grandmother gave Kezia an idea. She told her that her father's birthday was in the next week, and she advised her to present him a gift. She also suggested that Kezia might make a pin cushion for her father. Now what is a pin cushion, students? Now this is what we call pin cushions. Laboriously, with a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides. But what to fill it with? That was the question. Now Kezia liked the idea of her grandmother. She started working on it. She collected 2 pieces of double cotton fabric and stitched them together from all the 3 sides, and the 4th side was left open. It must be filled with some stuff. That was the question. Kezia thought what she should fill the cushion with. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. Now for some time the grandmother was not in the house. She was out in the garden, and during then Kezia went to her mother's bedroom to look for something with which she could fill the pin cushion. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case, then sewed up the 4th side. Now during the absence of the grandmother, the little girl Kezia went to her mother's bedroom. There she found some sheets of fine paper. She collected them all, tore them into tiny pieces, and put them inside the cushion, and then stitched up the 4th side. In this way, the pin cushion, which she thought of presenting to her father, was prepared. That night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Now the expression hue and cry means a great deal of shouting. So that night there was a lot of shouting in the house. Why so? Kezia's father could not find the papers in which he had written the great speech for the Port Authority. Now we all know Kezia had already torn up all the pages into tiny pieces and she stuffed the pin cushion with those tiny pieces of papers. Now all the rooms were searched. Now they were looking for those papers everywhere. Even the servants were asked if they had found those papers. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. So mother went to Kezia's room to ask Kezia if she had seen those papers. She said to Kezia, "Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room?" She said, "Oh yes, I tore them up for my surprise." Now surprise refers to what she had planned on her father's birthday. She had planned to surprise her father with the gift that she had prepared. "What?" screamed mother. "Come straight down to the dining room this instant." So Kezia's mother was greatly surprised to learn that the little girl had torn up all the pages. Her mother ordered her to go straight down to the dining room this instant. This instant means at that very moment. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Now the little girl Kezia was taken to the dining room forcibly, and her father was already there, walking forward and backward, keeping his hands behind his back, being very confused. The father wanted Kezia to say what she had done with those papers. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Now it is obvious that the child might not have answered back. She was always very nervous, and now she was more nervous than before. Therefore, her mother told her father what she had done with those papers. And her father looked at her angrily and asked, "Did you do that?" No, she whispered. So again she spoke indistinctly. She stammered out of fear and nervousness. She spoke in a low voice and stammered, No. "Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damned thing. See that the child is put to bed this instant." Now Kezia's father asked his mother, that is Kezia's grandmother, to go to Kezia's room and bring what she had prepared immediately. He also told her that the little girl should be put to sleep at once. So here we have come to the end of the first part of the story. We shall read the remaining part of the story in our next class. Hope all of you have understood up to this. Thank you so much.